Welcome to Dance with Alia, and I'm here with Rosa Noreen at Cairo Caravan, where she is a workshop teacher. And are you performing as well?
I am performing. I'm performing in the gala and on the festival stage.
Oh, good. So
Yeah.
we get to see her a couple of times.
It's exciting.
Yes, and thank you for taking this time that we can get to
You're
know you
welcome.
better and talk about dance and some of what you bring to the table as a dancer and a teacher, and some of your understanding of why you convey what you convey as a teacher, and things that you've learned from your teacher as well. For instance, you had taken from Jamila,
Yes.
right, in Maine.
Yes.
What kind of things did you learn from Jamila as a teacher? She was Lebanese?
She is of Lebanese descent.
Okay.
Yep. She is, I believe she's a first generation American. And something I love about her is that belly dance is very, very personal to her. When her family moved here, they were very interested in assimilating. And Jamila was her mother's name, but she didn't know it was her mother's real name until, I'm not sure, maybe when she was, old enough to really appreciate learning that fact. And so when she started dancing, she took her mother's name.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so it means a lot to her. For her, belly dance is really about conveying emotion, about, like she says, about taking the dancer on a journey with you. She says a handful of things I love. That's one that, or not taking the dancer, taking the audience on a journey with you. You're not showing, you're bringing them with you. And another thing that she says is, I'll never be the dancer my grandmother was until I've lived a life like my grandmother's. Which to me says many things, two of which, most important. One, your dance gets richer with age. And I come from a ballet background where your career, if you're a professional ballet dancer and you're 35, you are old.
Yeah.
And so to have this whole future to look forward to and think of your dance as getting richer, and also, she's never going to be her grandmother. She's not going to live that same life.
Yes,
so this is about your life and your experience coming out through your dance.
Which I'm hearing more to the comments of not, do your own dance. Don't copy this other dancer. Do your own dance.
Yes.
And that's kind of a tribute. It's not even just saying, I'm not going to do the dance of my grandma, but she was her, and respecting all of her life experience. And yeah, that's cool. So she came from a line of dancers. Then she had an American name, so she took on more of an Arabic name for a dancer.
Her mother's given an Arabic name, her mother's birth name.
Right.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I like that thought of her lineage.
You didn't
that's
take
important to
an Arabic name.
I used to use the name Iperi, a Turkish name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I first started, I was getting online, getting on Tribe, and I wanted a name, and I liked this name, and it means moon fairy, and I thought it was really pretty. But as I grew as a dancer, I'm not a Turkish style dancer. I love it, but it's not my calling. And also, I didn't feel right going by a name that wasn't my own. And I'm not making a judgment on anyone. This is my personal experience. I needed to be me. And I live in a fairly small town. Everyone knows me and not my name. My name was also difficult to pronounce, so I would get a lot of calls that were like, hello, belly dance? And so I felt that was awkward for people, and it just didn't resonate with me anymore. So I decided to drop the name and use my name.
Yeah. And what did you get from her that you make sure you impart to your students?
I always tell them the two things that I told you about this being, the quote about, I'll never be the dancer my grandmother was until I've lived a life like my grandmother's.
Yeah.
And I always share with them taking the audience on a journey with you. And when people are new to dance, it's a lot to take in, and you feel sometimes really overwhelmed that you're never going to be able to be like Sadie or be like whoever you see on YouTube, and they're just pow, 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 and that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I can never do that. And, everyone comes to this for a different reason. And some people, I find, feel discouraged by that fact, and that there are these incredible dancers out there, and it feels like such a long road ahead of them. And I tell them, I'd rather watch a dancer who is emotionally engaged, who's enjoying her time up there, I would rather watch that than the most incredible technical drum solo, for instance. You know, that's what I personally enjoy.
Yeah.
And so I share that, you know, just be yourself, be up there, do your thing, and let yourself react in the moment. Yeah.
Your original training was in ballet.
Yes.
And you did that from an early age till teenage, or?
Yes. Started when I was 8, and I went until I was 16.
Okay.
And when I was 16, I got an injury. And
that's what my question was.
That was
why did you stop?
Yeah. I was very serious about it. I was actually about to go away to a boarding school for dance. And the summer before, I went to a dance intensive, and I got injured.
Oh my gosh.
I was
so you already knew that's what you wanted to do.
I really wanted to pursue dance.
Yeah.
My teachers, my original ballet teachers, were both scientists, actually. They were dancers who had opted for not a professional dance route. Instead, they went a different professional route. One of them is a senior manager of genome research, and the other is a biology professor. And so I was lucky to have a really healthy ballet upbringing. They weren't, you know, they didn't tell students to lose weight. They didn't make students, you know, turn out and damage their knees.
Yes.
It was very, very, I'm really lucky. It was an incredibly healthy environment. But when I went, when I left the little cocoon that was so wonderful, that had trained me so well, and I went out into the greater world, there were a lot of, you know, adjustments to make and learn about, and I got hurt, and I had to stop, and that was hard at 16, to lose that thing that's been your identity for so long, the thing that got you through those tough high school years, you know.
Yeah. When did you know you were a dancer?
That's a very good question. Dance has always been in my awareness. My mother was a dancer. She was my first ballet teacher.
Okay.
She was a can-can girl in Juneau, Alaska, the gold rush. Yeah. They had, like, you know, the tourist places, and so they had, and she was a tap and jazz and ballet instructor, and, so dance has just always been in my awareness. But when I quit at 16, I just kind of was like, well, I guess that's in my past. And it wasn't until I sort of happened across a belly dance class after college that I refound that love, and then that was it. I was in every class that I could possibly find, taking, you know, classes 4 or 5 nights a week, and I was
What
obsessed.
was it that, you know, that attracted you to belly dance or to Middle Eastern music? Or
The music had to grow on me.
Okay.
Yeah, Mizmar had to grow on me, the whole thing, and it has. It most certainly has. But what I really, how I first saw belly dance was stopped at a stoplight after I was taking a Bikram yoga class, and so I was like all sweaty and tired, and stopped at a stoplight, and I just happened to look to the side, and they just happened to not have closed the curtains that night. And I saw through the window all these women dancing. They had long skirts on and hip scarves, and they were dancing and really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And there was just this, like, I wanted to be in that room with these women, and it was dance, and it was love, and it just looked healthy and wonderful and fun. And I wanted that. And it took me a little while, but eventually I found a class, and eventually I found a way to that class. And, and then to more classes, and now I teach classes.
And is this full time for you?
It is full time.
Yeah.
It's definitely full time. I also have another job.
Right.
I work about 15 or 20 hours a week at my day job, so it's very flexible, which I'm lucky about.
Yeah.
So
how often are you teaching?
I have a dance studio in Portland and Maine, and I teach 6 classes a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about, I had lived in Connecticut for a little bit, and how at least in Connecticut you get some summer and spring, and it's a little more even with the seasons, and maybe it's more predominantly cold and winter there. How does that affect, you know, do people just blow off dance classes in the winter time, or how does it affect the commitment?
It varies by year, definitely.
Okay.
But there have been years when the January session has been my biggest.
Okay.
I think people need to get out.
Yeah.
They need to have something to do, something to look forward to. And when you walk up the stairs and you hear the jingles jingling, you get excited.
Yeah.
And so it's something to look forward to. Winters can be very long in Maine. The one we just had was a lot of snow, many storms, a lot of shoveling, a lot of snow tires, set of snow tires, trying not to get stuck, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So people need community, you need to have something to go to. You need to have a reason to get out of the house. And you need to have some exercise as well in the winter. And as we know, belly dance is a fun way to do that. So,
well, thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you.
I really look forward to your workshop tomorrow.
I look forward to it.
So you can go to rosanoreen.com and learn more about her and about her DVDs that are coming out. And they're on the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Alia.